Buddha's management in life. So the title of the theme of the webinar, today's webinar is Buddha's uh, management in life, how to manage life and what Buddha has said about the life is a subject of discussion for this program. So I welcome you all on behalf of Society for Empowerment and on my personal behalf and also to the viewers. Society for Empowerment is very much thankful to the viewers who very sincerely watches our program. So Buddhism is manifested in a number of different aspects of management, in particular leadership, personnel and development. Teamwork and team building is the essence of the Buddhism. Buddhist perspective of management is uh, uh, accepting change, creating harmony among the devotees, workers, and uh, treating all with dignity and respect to achieve the ultimate goal of Buddhism organization or institution. That is the main theme of the Buddhism, what Lord Buddha has taught to us, to the disciples, to the followers, and to others who are working on Buddhism. Buddhism is a way of life. Buddhists believe that you should not eat too many tasty foods, but you restrict yourself food just for the survival of the body. Because if you go for the tasty foods and all that, then your attention to Buddhism and to life and may be difficult to achieve the goal of the Buddhism. So for that, they have the Buddhism has laid emphasis on simple life and simple food. And to follow the lifestyle of that, we have to remain the management. We lay emphasis on Buddhism and its way of life. Buddhism life is full of sympathy. Life is combination of mind and matter. Here in Buddhism, we use not only mind, but we use the body and the matter also while making concentration how to attain the mokshas. So that is the primary thing that Buddhism talks about changing life. It does not talk only about the static life or the day-to-day life. It realizes the reality that life is changing as the day is changing. Each day you find the dawn after dusk, and then the late evening, and then night, and again morning. So is the life. The life is change, very much change, and you have to understand the change, and that's the way of attaining moksha. So Buddhism is a Buddhist life is or Buddhism teach about the sympathy that we should be sympathetic to our fellow men, to our family members, to our teachers, and all that. We should not criticize. We should not waste criticizing people. There are uh, there are Buddhist management system in which we talk about uh, as a change or as a management as a tool to support well-being. Buddhist management system is it's a part of the tool in which we are trained, in which we learn how to live in the society, how to be sympathetic with our fellow men, and how to remain very simple so that we can easily attain moksha. So this is the way of life, Buddhist way of life, and in modern time or the contemporary time, when we talk of management, life management in Buddhism, then we see that there are a lot of conflict, lot of say people are much disturbed and people are more interested in material life than the attainment of moksha or than the helping others. So what Buddhism is laying emphasis in Buddhism teaching in day-to-day life is that we should be very cooperative. One should be very cooperative with the fellow man, with the family members, with our teachers, with our students, and all that. Because if we are not cooperative, a single unit cannot attain moksha. It will be very, very difficult. That Buddha has demonstrated through his life that how he left his kingdom, and from kingdom how he became a common man, and then how he took the help of all those who were around him, which led him to moksha. Because when he was sitting under the banyan tree in Bodh Gaya, he also sought support of the local people who he didn't sought, but they just started uh, cleaning his body and providing food and water and all that. So he said that what I have learned that for attaining moksha, it is necessary that one must be very, very there should be clarity in thought and there should be clarity in life. How to lead life, that's a very good example for current situation in the globe in which we are more artificial than the realistic, and so that the artificial life does not help in attaining moksha. So we should be very, very careful and thoughtful in our day-to-day life that instead of Buddhism should be used as a tool for attaining the moksha. That was Buddha, Lord Buddha has said in one of his uh, teaching. Then Buddhist way of life is uh, is people they appreciate the Buddhist way of life, and what the currently you see what the people are suggesting is very, very clear, and there is a lot of clarity in the thoughts of what we have just heard of Dalai Lama, who is in Bodh Gaya right now, and what he said in one of his latest lecture, that the leader should be mindful, selfless, and compassionate. So this is the Buddhism. The leader for the Buddhism or the Buddhist leader should be mindful, selfless, and compassionate. Compassionate means they should be very sincere and serious about the well-being and lifestyle of the society, people living in the society. Only then moksha can be attained. Otherwise, we will be wandering here and there. We may not be able to attain the goal. So to and we should be equally we should be selfless. We should not be selfish. We should not only think about ourselves. We should think about the society, with the people, with the disciples who are associated with us and who wants to follow us. So that can be attained only recently. Dalai Lama, who is still in Bodh Gaya, he has a Tibetan training program. Some his followers from Tibet who came and they were getting some sort of 2 weeks training program where he led emphasis. This is his inaugural lecture that one should be mindful and should be selfless and compassionate. Because if you are teaching your follower or your student not in a uh, prescribed manner as prescribed by the Lord Buddha, then neither you will be attaining moksha nor your student will be attaining moksha. So this is one aspect of the Buddhist way of life. One must be selfless and should be mindful. Mindful means they should think of the society. There should be we must have a holistic approach of society, of the people, and of the development. Uh, Otherwise, we will not be doing justice with the teachings of the Buddha as prescribed in Buddhism to lead the lifestyle of the people, and we must be compassionate to our fellow men, our disciples, society. So this is what I thought to share to begin the webinar of today. We have two great uh, scholars. One is Dr. A.K. Pandey. He is a former IAS person and he is expert in astrophysics. And then we have another Professor Krishnaraj from ISET Bangalore, who is an expert in global economics. He talks about the economical economic well-being of the people, and so these two people will also share their views, and then we will have a question answer session from the viewers, and then we will conclude it. And your suggestions are most welcome because we want to have a series of it, series of our programs on Buddhism. Last in November, we had a program on Buddhism, for which we organized a national conference on Buddhism and world peace. That was the main theme. And on 28th February also again we are going to have international conference on uh, Buddhism and democracy, or you can say democracy in Buddhism. So how people are democratic, how people are mindful, how people are compassionate, how the leadership should be in democratic process for the development of the people. All these are the main theme of the discussions in which great scholars from different parts of the globe will be participating on 20th that we have proposed to organize on at Bodh Gaya. And it will be one day program. Anybody who wishes to join us are most welcome. So with these words, I would like to request Dr. A.K. Pandey to share his views on Buddhist way of life or Buddhism and life, life management.
Thank you, Professor Narayan. Uh, this subject of Buddhist lifestyle and management somehow, uh, when I try to think about it, find a risk. The risk is that by faith, I classify myself to traditional Hindu Sanatan Dharma. Now, whenever there is difference of religions and faith, a person of one faith can very clearly give his thought that. I mean, about Sanatan Dharma and other things, I can speak without any risk of criticism that he is different. Some religions are so strict that they don't wish anybody to speak on that. Somehow, the relationship between Sanatanis and Buddhists are not that difficult. It is because I say it is one way traffic. Hindus never think that Buddha is a different religion, while Buddhists think that it is a different religion. It is
Okay.
because a large part of Gautam Buddha was before his enlightenment. It was with Hindu scholars and Pandits and others, and in that in that way he attained something new, which was not being taught at those times about lifestyle. And after that, he started that different lifestyle to be ideal. So in, somehow it has to be different to say that it is a different religion. But we think that it is evolution. Evolution means every time life changes, world changes, and knowledge purifies it better, and it progresses. And it is a progressive thought. We always find out three formula what a Buddhist has to follow. That is Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Now let us try to interpret. There is nothing to tell about Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. That means you have to follow Buddha's preaching. Then what was second? That is Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham, I believe that it has meaning of federation. I am not Buddhist, but whatever howsoever I think, it means federation. Federation means on one side mixing of thoughts being together. Federal, Federalism means even there are differences, we solve it out peacefully and thoughtfully. Sangh means living together in a lifestyle where we all live with each other and whatever
Right.
intellectual and thoughtful
Yeah, I agree.
differences are there, we resolve them by discussions and other things. So the history, as per history, my mind goes that at that time in different parts of country, different type of gods were being worshipped. And as Hindu religion is based on synthesis, that means other persons is also right in some way, but there is some difference which we will resolve. So Buddha, with his great wisdom, he could say, he could preach that let there be one thought, that is federation of all those, and don't insist that you are the superior most. And that living together, I in my view, was Sangam. So that was one of the important parts of Buddhism, that if you live together in a Sangh, it is well known fact that it will be more economic and less quarrelful, and differences will not be that strong. Then, then the second thing was that econ- economy of thought, economy of uh, economy of livelihood. That was the most important part, because he said that why to have a lust of more and more? We must not think and not compare that I need that much, because in collecting all these more and more, we think that we will get pleasure, we will get satisfaction, we will get, but this thought is wrong. Sometimes we take so much pains to collect the things which ultimately do not give us the pleasure and comfort which we thought. So that is the what we call madhyam marg of his thoughts, that we have to satisfy us that at a moment, at a juncture, whatever we collect more doesn't give us pleasure in reality, but a, just a false satisfaction of being better than others. So this reflected in the way the monks went to Bhiksha, the formula adopted was you have to go to only one house, and whatever you get there, you take it and spend their life. These simple things were added in that lifestyle of Gautam Buddha at that time. Uh, Dhammam is still difficult to explain. What is Indian common Indian view is that even Sanatan Dharma was not exactly Dharma, but it was federation. According to one view, this this Dharma means our duty. This Dharma means not a particular religion like Christian or Islam or others. Whatever we think, whatever we pray, whatever God we believe, there is something which is our duty as a whole at a particular time. We may be thinking about one, two goddess. That duty is such that it doesn't harm anybody. It takes us to better places. Similarly, Buddha put it one of the formula that Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, that we are dedicated to our duty. So this lifestyle, its economy, its optimum way of living, and understanding of the duty of the time of the call. All the two, three things had been basic to Buddhist lifestyle. Uh, Now, today also, it is so cohesive, so persistent that it remote in remote places where resources are very scarce, monks are able to live years and years, hundreds of years in Himalaya, remote places, in Bhutan, on places where we find it difficult to go. Just we think that what to do. But at those places, they are able to survive and continue with the knowledge and understanding of the world at that level. Their internal discussion, their intellectual level, it shows a level, a glimpse of somebody living in our best universities of the world, though at that remote place. Other people which live in 100 or 1550 kilometers, they are slightly less in their respect, in their comparison. So, definitely, that lifestyle is something which has satisfaction, which has knowledge, and survival, even survival, which is the best instinct of the life. And it is live example that with Buddha's teaching, even with that level of resources, we can pursue, continue to live as a very enlightened person with other people without quarrel, without much greed, and with much intellectual satisfaction. It is living example, and it is definitely a special thing which Buddha preached us. Perhaps whole China has evolved later on in living in communes with same principle. So today we see that they have been growing economically in the world despite the difficult terrain there. So these were few thoughts which came to my mind uh, about Buddhism and its lifestyle. Definitely, I haven't read that in that detail, in which even average monks living there read Buddhism and its understanding. But if there is any mistake, I will apologize And if there is some understanding, I will feel that uh, the patience which you heard, uh, it is a thankful. And with these few words, I finish my ideas. Thank you, of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Pandey. You have enlightened many of the people with your knowledge and understanding, your reflections on Buddhism and comparison Buddhism and Hinduism. So we are very much thankful at the end. Definitely, please be with us because at the end there may be some questions from the viewers to answer. Now I would like to request Professor Krishna Raj from Bangalore to share his views on the topic.
Sir, good evening, Professor Narayan and Professor Dr. A.K. Pandeji and others who are participating online. Thank you for this opportunity. I am not an expert in this area of Buddhism and lifestyle management. I just try to understand Buddhism, but the Buddhism principles are some extent ingrained in my life. I try to explain with my own experience of feeling practicing Buddhism, and also how some of these religions, world major religions, uh, how Buddhism is completely different from some of these religions. So, what I understood about Buddhism is that that Buddhism is the one of the oldest religion. It is not only a religion; it is a way of life. Basically, many of us we think that Buddhism is not a religion which preaches practicing of worshipping or something, but it is a way of living. The way of life should be understood, and it is also sometimes Buddhism is also a philosophy and way of life. It has been evolved, that over 2,500 years old. It is one of the oldest religion originated in India, but unfortunately, due to various uh, reasons, the Buddhism spread more in the Asian continent rather than in Indian subcontinent where it was originated. Yes, Pandeyji has mentioned philosophy of Buddhism is the system of ideas, and it intended to address the nature of existence of human being and how humans should respond to it. So the first and foremost thing, why we exist on this earth, and how one should lead a life um, uh, that is more uh, with content. So that is more philosophical way of understanding the life rather than simply living life on the earth. That is more materialistic way. So it is also very common philosophy taught by the even Mahatma Gandhi ji, simple living. So it is not having very complex ideas, but it teaches very simply how to practice, how to understand the life. Uh, so it preaches at least some simple techniques to understand life, and then this life can be easily managed, the lifestyles can be managed. So this basic teachings of Buddhism is also known as Dhamma, are often summarized in four noble truths and eight fold path. So the four noble truths are very simple truths. One needs to understand them. These truths are can be understood in the following way. First and foremost is that one has to understand, the human being should understand, when you born, there is suffering. There is also always suffering. These sufferings may be due to various reasons, but suddenly the man undergoes suffering in his lifetime. So, why suffering arises, according to him, is that suffering is due to attachment to something. So, attachment to property, attachment to people, and attachment to reason or country, or attachment to something else. So these sufferings arise mainly due to the human beings have some attachments. So suddenly, when you have attachment, there will be craving for having something, or owning something, or ownership of something, or demanding something from others. So this leads to suffering. So first two of his preaching says that the we need to understand the sufferings mainly due to attachment, and the second two principles, four noble truths, suffering can be overcome if man understands the root cause of suffering. So he can the sufferings can be overcome. For overcoming these sufferings, he has taught eightfold path. That is also very interesting. So, in this way, the Buddha has given the four noble truths. One is the truth of suffering, the cause of suffering, and this third and fourth one is that cessation of suffering, the path to cessation of suffering. First, two, understanding the sufferings, and next two, to understand how to overcome the sufferings. The first two truths describe our current situation, and the last two truths describe our potential for growth or emancipation or liberating from all sufferings. So, in this way, Buddha has given a beautiful methodology or method to overcome the sufferings, and by understanding the suffering and its root causes. Further, he provides a detailed eightfold path to overcome these type of sufferings. The eightfold views are, or noble eightfold paths are: right view. Right view means the one should know the truth, why one is suffering. It is due to craving, it is due to stealing, it is due to lying, or it is due to something else. One needs to understand why I am suffering, why this suffering is inflicted on me. So the right view is to understand the know the truth of suffering. And the second one is that the right intention. Right intention is that whether we think in the right direction, whether mind is corrupted, or mind is in equanimity, or mind is has some craving for something, or mind wants to commit some mistakes like that. So it has to mind has to be understood by the human beings, why it is craving like that, why it is behaving like that. So free your mind of all evils is the second way of overcoming the sufferings. And the third one is that right speech. So most of the time we know that a good words uttered does not attract any conflicts. So most of the time when we speak, we intentionally and unintentionally we attract the wrath of others, or that leads to conflict, which leads to lots of sufferings. So therefore, right speech, that is, say nothing that hurts others. So the speech should also be controlled by the mind with right intention, with right view. So when we speak, the truth should emanate rather than the harsh words, or the um, something is not right way of right speech. So therefore, one should have right speech, not hurting others, and right action. Right action in the sense that work for the good of others rather than creating troubles for problems for others. So this also reduces our suffering, and it does not have the good words we spread, the good action we do, that will spread the love and affection among our brothers and brothers and sisters. So right action is one of the way we can overcome the sufferings. And right livelihood, we need to respect our life first. What way we are living our livelihood, whether we are craving for some gold or some materialistic life, and what is the right way to earn our livelihood, that is also more important. So if one chooses the right path to earn livelihood, then his sufferings are less. So those who choose the livelihood based on the modern lifestyles, based on the uh, uh, imitating others livelihood, other lifestyles, so this creates lots of loss of equanimity of mind, or the mind will start craving for more and more, that leads to sufferings. So therefore, the man needs to understand the right livelihood, respect the life whatever we have, and one should continuously strive for earning the livelihood through a good means. That is the another approach. And another approach of eight noble path to overcome suffering is that right effort. Right effort in the sense that we should not fall in the prey of wrong people, and we should not commit any wrong mistakes, and always we should be on the path of right effort, resist the evil that comes in the way of our life. So then we can control the evil effects of such uh, incidents. Apart from this right effort, right concentration, practice meditation. So mind always is the root cause for all the sufferings. So therefore, we need to control our mind in day-to-day life, because there are lots of oscillations with modern lifestyles. Internet is being used heavily in every part of our life. So we need to control oscillations, and we should have a concentration of mind, and meditation is the way of controlling the mind. So therefore, right concentration leads to right uh, right livelihood, right action, right speech, right intention, and right view. So therefore, all originates from right concentration. And right concentration leads to right mindfulness. So your thoughts are being completely controlled. When thoughts are being controlled, so you are on the path of peace. You are on the path of not suffering, free from suffering. So this is how 8 paths he has suggested to manage lifestyle in our day-to-day life. So if we adapt all these 8 paths to overcome our sufferings, current sufferings, then really the world lives in peace, and also the world is a what we call it as it spreads the light of love among all of us. And I don't want to take much of your time, and this is how one can lead a lifestyle as Buddhism has taught. Therefore, I told in the beginning, the peace and happiness can be achieved through this eight or eightfold path, consisting of correct view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So I stop here. Thank you, Professor Narayan ji. Hello, sir.
Uh, Thank you very much for your presentation. You have made a good presentation, and in a very simple words, you made uh, very clarity with clarity. You explained the lifestyle of the Buddhism. So this is now open for a question. If there is any, if there is any question from the viewers, it's most welcome. Is there any question from viewers? Please. Okay, today maybe there is no question from the viewers. So we conclude here, and Dr. A.K. Pandey and Professor Krishna Raji. One more person is supposed to come, Jyoti Bindal and Professor Rana. These two people were joining us, but Rana is next time. But somehow or other they could not make it. Uh, so we are closing here. We are thankful to Krishna Raji also to agree to give a subject which is not of his choice, but I'm thankful that he agreed to say something on the subject. Thank you very much. On Buddhism, we are going to have, at the beginning, we are trying to have a international international day of Buddhism and democracy. Buddhism, what Buddha, what his preaching is on how to run the governance. So that we will be discussing on that, but that is on 28th February. So that is one point which I wanted to share with you. And you're most welcome. You can suggestions what that conference should address to. So these words, I thank you once again to Dr. A.K. Professor Krishna Rajji for making this program uh, today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste.